grammar, and people can't really write that well anymore. So it's not just Pakistan, it's also the UK. And in Pakistan, and probably other non-native English-speaking countries, we are in general picking up sufficient English to make ourselves understood for everyday or conversational purposes. We learn our first language at home, and we go to school to learn our second language, in our case, English. But English for us isn't just a foreign language. It's something that we pick up because it's a universally understood language and it's useful. It might come in handy sometime. It's actually a language that we need, a language that we use to teach and learn. And in education in particular, we cannot be truly competent, professional, even inspirational teachers without being fully comfortable with the language that we're, whatever you want to call it, instructing or guiding or mentoring. We can't explain, we can't answer questions, we can't actually, well, it's difficult to inspire without having the right vocabulary because you struggle to produce the right words. So we need to explore the language in more depth. We need to indulge in a little introspection and examine where we're actually at and decide where we need to be. I recently interviewed somebody, a person who kept reverting to Urdu, and it ended up with about 50% of the interview being conducted in sort of both languages. It was fortunate that I actually understood Urdu, even though I don't speak it very well. I explained that I was trying to assess her English skills, and she rather proudly told me, I'm bilingual. And of course, it is a bilingual country, and we ought to be proud of that, the fact that we do speak two languages. In many countries, they only speak one. But bilingual means the ability to speak two languages, not the ability to speak two languages at the same time. It can be very confusing if the listener doesn't actually have command over both languages. I frequently get told that we weren't taught that way, or we didn't learn English that way. And it took me a while to understand that people meant we weren't taught with grammar. And that's why I was saying grammar seems to be a rather frightening word for some. Well, I teach English in context. I don't teach it that differently from the way teachers teach children. But there's a little bit more emphasis on the rules because we need the rules to make meaningful sentences. We need it to sort all the information that we're getting about English into some sort of comprehensible pattern. It's the example I mentioned about the taxi driver, the English taxi driver, who needed to know some of the grammar, otherwise he couldn't learn the Italian language. Now, no one likes to admit having weaknesses, and if anyone has heard me speak Urdu, they'll know that I'm frequently the subject of much amusement. But I persevere. I try because I want to improve. It's as simple as that. So if somebody wants to laugh, as long as they're laughing with me and not at me, I don't mind. And I'm sure that more than one workshop and focus group has talked about needing to keep an open mind, never ceasing to learn. And that is what we're urging. We're urging you to keep an open mind, accept without embarrassment the fact that you may need to improve, and look for ways in which you can achieve that. The ELD program, the English Language Development Program, or the English Language Support Program that we prefer to call it, is there to facilitate the process. And it's been up and running in two regions, the central and the southern regions, since the beginning of 2010, and the third is currently coming on board. It's had to be small scale to begin with, and that's why we're currently working with the early years. But we would have started there anyway, because I believe that that is the key area. That's when you get children who absorb everything like sponges. They're very, very receptive, which is why we need to be careful in class as what we say in front of them. The program has been flexible. We started working with teachers in selected schools, but that was a very slow and quite exclusive process. And Beaconhouse is, God bless it, a very large system. So we've shifted the focus to school management teams, providing regular workshops for them, which we then hope will cascade down to the teachers. Obviously, we support. And we still do random visits and on observations, and provide additional support as necessary. But this is ultimately a program to encourage self-motivation and very much independent learning. So even though we are a small unit, we've managed to do 115 workshops since January, plus 40 visits to schools for observations, plus countless assessments, which I think is quite an achievement, and I'm grateful to my teams for doing that. We do all we can to make the learning fun, because people tend to think when they come to our workshops for the first time that it's going to be deadly boring. You know, it's grammar, it's that dreaded word again. And we try to engage your interest, to entertain you, to make you want to learn more. And some of you who have participated already may be able to testify to the fact that they are quite entertaining. We're continuing with the schedule, but because we've done quite a bit in quite a short space of time, as we approach a full year of operation, it might be time to take stock, see how the program is working in the areas in which it's been introduced, how the school management teams are coping, with our support, of course, and whether we need to make some adjustments. So by the end of the year, we hope to have some answers, and we look forward to your feedback. We're never afraid to change. We don't mind adjusting. If something isn't working, we will adjust it. And basically, we want school management teams to take ownership of and responsibility for the objectives of the program, because they, after all, are in the front line. They recruit, they monitor, they mentor, they observe, and they lead. So we want people in general to recognize that English language proficiency is a key component of professional and personal development. And above all, we want people to view the process positively as an opportunity to acquire a skill for life, whether you remain with Beaconhouse, which we obviously hope you will, or whether you move on to something else. So, finally, to a lady in one of our schools who asked my team if I was still in Pakistan. I'm not sure how she said that. I mean, she might have said, is she still in Pakistan? Is she still in Pakistan? Or is she still in Pakistan? I'm not sure. But I'm alive and kicking. I'm very much in Pakistan, and I have no immediate plans to go anywhere else anytime soon. And it's the same with the ELD program. It's alive and well at Beaconhouse in Pakistan. It's here to stay, and it's coming soon to a school near you. Thank you.